calling me, I say, well. I say, boom, 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 no we're about to say, well.
Welcome to the Head Coach Chris Moss Show. I'm Red Ryder, and I'm here with Head Coach Chris Moss. Coach, first of all, we'll just jump right into it. Thank you for taking time to do the show, and welcome to this year's edition.
Well, it's good to be back. We've started off a great year this year. We've got about 14 seniors. The football team started off on a pretty positive note, starting with our jamboree, our fall jamboree over at West Point. And we win the first three after we win the jamboree, and then we sort of took a step back last Friday night. But I'm proud of these kids. Last week was not indicative of how we play and what kind of football team we are. And I take the blame. We weren't ready to play, and I take that blame solely. And we're going to get better this week, and hopefully bring back the win this week.
Coach, since this is our first show, and the next, I'll get into the play of the games here in just a second. Tell us briefly, if you would, about your coaching staff. I know there's been some changes, and who does what.
First of all, I'll start with the guys who are back. That's one of us. Besides me, Coach Dillashaw is still doing our defense. He's been around here a long time. He handles all the defense. We hired a new English teacher this year, Coach Hodson. He's teaching English at the school, and he's doing our secondary and special teams. Then we've got three more assistant volunteers, and the first being Tyler Caldwell. Tyler's our offensive coordinator. We sort of swapped to a little bit of a spread look this year, and Tyler does a great job, knows that offense backwards forward, played in high school, played in that system in college. Coach Hudson is another addition to our staff. He also helps with JV basketball, but he coaches our receivers. Him and Coach Caldwell and Coach Talbert, who's our offensive line coach. Coach Talbert's he's the old guy on staff. He's a little older than all of us, but he does the offensive line. So Coach Talbert, Coach Caldwell, and Coach Hudson all do the offense, and Coach Dillashaw, Coach Hodgson handle defensive control.
Coach, thanks for the insight on the coaches, and I'm trying to get this thing growing here. Coach, tell us, if you would, about the seniors that we have this year, so the Raider Nation will know what's going on there.
We have 14 seniors, a great group of guys, and I'm just going to go through and name them and tell you what they play. Chris Raper is our first one. He plays receiver. Sebastian Finley, he plays quarterback. Zach Witcher plays outside linebacker. Austin Crumley plays receiver. Colin Harris is a kicker. Alex Cofer is the middle linebacker. Justin Turner is a defensive back. Blake Watson, the defensive tackle. Jonathan Grigsby is an offensive tackle. Anthony Harlan is a guard, offensive guard. Daniel Moss is an offensive guard. Riley Hancock is an offensive tackle. Tim Kreitner is a defensive tackle. And Luke Calvert is an outside linebacker. So we got 14 good seniors.
Coach, senior leadership can prove to be a great thing for any team, and it sounds like yours is well on the way. Coach, if you would, you've already alluded some to the previous games that we've had this year. Just kind of talk briefly on how you think each game went and what the key factors of that game were.
Well, I'll start back with the West Point game. We played them a little jamboree in the fall there. We went over to their place. We played a half, and then we come back, played the third quarter with the older guys. First half was not too good for us. They pretty much had their way offensively. We couldn't stop them offensively. We went in at halftime and made some adjustments. The second half we came out, scored some quick touchdowns, and I think we led 28-7 when the young group came in. I think it ended up being 28-14 at the end of the game, but 28-7 with the varsity group. Then we hosted the Holly Pond Broncos over here in Holly Pond. They've got a very young football team. That was a game that we pretty much dominated the whole game. We started off, they had to punt twice. We returned both punts for touchdowns. I think we ended up 61-14 that game. I think that set school record for most points in the season, which broke. I think we had that 7 or 8 years ago, I believe, against the same team, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 59, I believe. And then we hosted the Bulldogs of Hansel, second ball game. This was a big game for us, first region game. They came over to our place. We sort of jumped out on them 19-7 the first half, and then we sort of felt like we I don't know what we got in our mind. We felt like we needed to coast a little bit, and they came back and scored two touchdowns, and went up 21-19, and I'm sorry, 22-19, and we had to tie it up there at the end of the game there to go into overtime, and we beat them overtime 28-22. And then we go to Winston County. Winston County was a tough test for us, just from the standpoint of the emotional high that we had against Hansville. And also Winston County does a great job throwing the football. Their quarterback, their receivers, I mean, they're just right on. They do a great job with their passing game, and that was a track meet, as I like to call it. We'd score, they score. They scored, we'd score. It was just back and forth, back and forth. Second half, we sort of took hold a little bit, started doing a little bit different scheming on defense, and we're able to slow them down, and then we sort of put a few in. And of course, now that game we had a big injury, and Sebastian, our quarterback, broke his left arm. He's going to be back in practice with us next week, but that was a big hit for us offensively. And of course, last week at the Hamilton game, I don't think anything went right. The bus trip over there wasn't good. We got there, it wasn't good. The rain wasn't good, and it was just a bad night for the Good Hope Rebels. And again, I take total responsibility. They weren't ready to play, and that falls back on me.
Coach, it's time now for a break. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to finish the Head Coach Chris Moss Show.
Good Hope Grocery is your one-stop shop in the Good Hope area. Whether it's filling your tank with some good Jet Pep fuel or filling your stomach with some goodies from the store, Good Hope Grocery will take care of your everyday needs. Harry and Judy Carden are great folks that care about you. You won't find any friendlier service in the state of Alabama. Located just southwest of exit 304 off I-65, Good Hope Grocery is quick and convenient and a great way to start or end your day.
Welcome back to the Head Coach Chris Moss Show. I'm Red Ryder, bringing the game to you. Well, Coach, let's go ahead and jump right now into this week's contest. We're going to travel over to New Hope, and last time I remember New Hope, we had that young man, I believe his name was Jonathan Ford, and he definitely ran like a Ford, up a bunch of yards on us there. What's New Hope going to be like this week, Coach?
Well, I can tell you one good thing is Jonathan Ford graduated, and he's playing at Auburn right now, so he won't be a factor unless they slip him in a different uniform, but we'll be able to tell, I'm sure. So, they've got a good football team. They've got a big, tall quarterback. He's about 6'4", 6'5", and he throws the ball very well. Him and his receivers, they do a great job pitching and catching, and we're going to have our hands full Friday night.
Coach, I can't wait until Friday night to see what happens over there at New Hope. Coach, I just want to talk about one more thing, recapping the season so far and how important it is to each game. Special teams, quite a bit, the games that I've seen this year, and we missed last week, but all the games we've seen, special teams has kind of come up big for you this year. Talk about the importance of that, if you would.
Coach Hodgson does our special teams, and he's doing a great job with those guys. Special teams is an added element. If you can get a touchdown or two a game on special teams, that's a very big plus. We've got, I was telling you about the first game. We had two punt returns there. We had a kickoff return against Hansville. Those were huge plays. And one good thing about the Hansville game is they just gone down and scored, and they kicked to us, and I think it was McClure takes it back, and it just sort of, they're on that emotional high, and then it sort of deflates the other team because they drive the ball down the field. It might take 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden, they kick to us, and we're in the end zone, and things are back even again. So special teams is a huge part of the football game, and they can also hurt you. We've been real fortunate this year. I've been giving them big plays on special teams.
Well, Coach, going into this game here, we're 3-1 on the season, 2-1 on the region, and it's been a while since we can say that. So, Coach, talk if you would about how to build off that success and and whatnot, and try to finish out to try to get into the playoffs. I know it's early, but that season, you got a shot at it right now. So, talk about that if you would.
Well, certainly we've been talking about that all year, talking about getting back into the playoffs, and we're right on the verge. Last week was something that we certainly didn't expect, and that kind of thing. But we told the kids, we're going to put that behind us. Certainly we're going to take it and correct the mistakes we've made. But that game's behind us now. We got to look forward and win out. We've got every week's going to be big. We got New Hope this week, which is a non-region game, but after that we're going to start the next part of the season, and they're all region games too.
Thank you for watching the Head Coach Chris Moss Show on the Raider Sports Network. I'm Red Ryder. Again, we're sponsored by Good Up Grocery, and we'll see you at the field.
Good Hope Grocery is your one-stop shop in the Good Hope area. Whether it's filling your tank with some good Jet Pep fuel or filling your stomach with some goodies from the store, Good Hope Grocery will take care of your everyday needs. Harry and Judy Carden are great folks that care about you. You won't find any friendlier service in the state of Alabama. Located just southwest of exit 304 off I-65, Good Hope Grocery is quick and convenient and a great way to start or end your day.
Boom, 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 now let me hear you say, well. I say, boom, 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 now everybody say, well.